What's up, guys? I want to explain to you the miracles that I've been receiving from Jesus, from God. You know, first off, I want to explain to you that my religion is Catholic. So I have a Catholic background. I come from a Catholic family, but I wasn't raised Catholic. I wasn't raised Christian. I wasn't raised Muslim. I was just raised. I didn't have a religion, but what I did was believe in God, and I believed in Jesus. Okay, I believed in Jesus Christ. I remember when I was younger and I was in Peru, South America, in Peru, in Lima, Peru. And this is where my grandma lives. My grandma's still alive to this day. I think she's like 89 years old. When you see her, she can barely look out of her eyes. She's got an old face. She's really old. And I remember her really well because she was the one who raised me a lot, especially when I was younger. She was basically my mom, even though I had a mom. But I spend most of my days with her, and it was in Peru. And she's very like religious, her and my grandpa. And in my grandpa's house, they both used to live together. My grandpa passed away. But in his house was very, I want to say, godlike, church-like. It felt like I was at a church. In one corner of the house, he had I want to say like a Jesus statue. I don't know if it was marble or wood, but it was dark green. It was really dark green, like my skin. It was the whole statue was like a dark green, and Jesus wasn't brown, but that's just how the statue was. You get what I'm saying? And he had candles around it. It was really dark setting, and he used to go there. I remember walking around in the house, and I always saw him in that corner praying every day at the same time. It was in the morning, and I would always see him kneeling down and praying. And I will never forget those images in my brain. It was very beautiful to see because I saw my grandpa doing something. Expending his passion to a higher power. And my grandma is the same way. But my grandma would actually go to the church. And I remember one day she brought me to church and I saw Jesus. This was my first time seeing him. And my grandma was crying. We were walking in the church. The church was dark. And we were walking in the church through the church hallway. And at the end of the hallway, there was a statue of Jesus. And he was looking down, and we were looking up at him. And my grandma started crying. And I didn't know she was crying until she turned around and looked at me. And then when she turned around and looked at me, I felt like she told me something. But she didn't say a word to me. I just felt like she told me something with her energy. And then I started looking at the statue, and then I started crying as well. I felt something from it, and that's what I took away from it, energy. So all throughout my growing years, I was so confused. I didn't know what to do. Um, so I went across the street that's behind me right there, and I remember crying, and I remember cursing God. I remember cursing Jesus, and I was just yelling so loud, and I was like, why? I was like, why me? You know what I'm saying? I was like, why? I was like, why is it that I feel so much? I was like, why is it that I can't do this and can't do that? Why is it that everyone else has the rewards? How come I can't have the rewards? You know? But then again, I read the Bible. I didn't read the entire Bible first page to the end page, but I skimmed through some of the Bible, and I read, I think, a title called Job. I don't know how to pronounce it. And this part of the Bible, it talked about the guy named Job, and he was a married man with a wife. And I think he had a huge farm and everything, but he had a bunch of diseases. And he started cursing God because of these diseases. And now, don't quote me on this. I don't remember the story very well. I just remember that he had a lot of diseases. And at one point, he was going to give up. But his wife was there to encourage him, to encourage him to just have faith, keep believing. Keep believing and have faith. Do not give up your faith in God. Do not give up your faith in Jesus. Believe. Faith will get you there. You know what I'm saying? And there was moments when he even cursed her. He cursed God. and he had no faith, but he kept believing. And at the end, God gave him everything. God gave him everything that he had, plus more, you know. So I remember I went across the street and I started yelling, not because of that, but because I felt something. I felt like I didn't have a purpose. And I wanted to know what my purpose was. So I went across the street and I went out there yelling, and I was looking up and praying and crying, giving off 100% of my energy, like as if God was right there with me, I was crying, man. I was kept saying, teach me. I was like, teach me. I kept saying, teach me everything. Teach me how to do these things, because I want to do these things too, And slowly but surely, I kept seeing signs. Sometimes when I walk out of my house, I remember I saw this one sign. I remember I saw this one sign when I walk out of my house. It was broad daylight, and I looked up. And right when I walked out the door, and this was like a couple of days after I went out yelling. This was so crazy, and I'm telling you the truth, or else I wouldn't be saying this message to you at all. Why lie for? You get what I'm saying? It doesn't give me any pleasure lying to anybody. But I walked out of the house, and I looked up in the sky, and I saw it say, Jesus loves you. And I was like, what the heck? Like, I was just outside praying. It wasn't the same day. I can't remember. It wasn't the next day, but it was like a couple of days later. It was within the same week. It was like a couple of days later, and that's what I saw right when I walked out the door. And I was like, holy crap, like it gave me the chills, man. Like couldn't believe it. And then from that day on, I started becoming happy. And my faith grew stronger, because I knew that he was there. And just recently, I was going through some things, and now those things are over. Everybody's got their trials and tribulations, okay? But I was going through some things, and through my trials and tribulations, through my experience, through my journey, I asked for help. I asked for guidance. I asked for protection. I remember coming into this car one night, and I cried, man, way worse than I was out there crying into the street across this, into the field across the street. I was crying way more, man. I'm talking about my entire face was wet. I'm talking about everything. I was crying about everything, man. I was giving all of my emotion, all of my energy, and I was talking to God. I made sure I wanted God to hear me, because I was calling out for him. You know what I'm saying? I was calling, and I was praying for protection. I was praying for guidance. I was praying for you to be there, for his presence. I was praying for something. I wanted something. I wanted you to be there. I was praying, God, I was asking for something. I was asking for a sign, because I was seriously lost all hope at that moment. And I wanted my faith to become stronger with a sign, because I didn't want to give up. I was giving it my all, man. I was telling exactly how it felt. Exactly how I felt. That's the one thing I want to tell you. Do not be afraid to feel in front of God. Whether if you're talking to him and you don't believe in him, and you do believe in him, tell him the truth. Tell him everything, because he's there to listen to you. He does not care. He does not judge on anything that you do. That's the power of God. So long as you have his relationship, you are free to tell him everything that you believe, everything that you're feeling, So don't be scared. Do not be scared. Even the devil is what God made. You get what I'm saying? So do not be afraid to share your feelings. Now, I'm not saying to curse God and everything, but as long as you believe in God, tell him everything, okay? Because that's what I was doing. I was telling everything, even saying things like, sometimes I believe in you and sometimes I don't, because why is it that I am this way? And everyone else, I was like, I'm always the type of person to compare myself to everything and to everyone. And why is it that I can't be like them? Why is it that I can't be like this person that's in a Lamborghini? Why is it that I can't be like this person that has this job? How come I can't have this job? You know? Why can't I go here? How come I don't have the money to go to this place? You know? Why don't I have the knowledge to learn this? Why can't I have the opportunity to learn this? You know? So I was praying a lot. And then at the end I asked him for a sign that he was going to protect me and that he was going to guide me. And as soon as I got out of this door, I walked around this truck. There's a truck right next to me. I walked around this other truck, right? And I was looking down. And it was this same time, nighttime. But it was really early in the morning. I want to say like 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning. Maybe even like earlier. I don't even know. But I started walking inside. And as I was looking down, I saw something so bright. It was the brightest thing I ever seen. And it was nighttime. And it was glowing. And you know what it was? It was a white feather. And I swear to God, I swear to Jesus Christ, it looked like he placed it right there for me. Because it was in the middle of my walkway right to my door. And it was so bright. And I did not see that when I walked outside the door. That was the craziest moment I've ever experienced in my life when it came to praying and meeting Jesus Christ. I swear to you, man, I will never, and I took that feather and I keep it inside my room. That feather is always with me. It's always with me. Always with me because I'm always at home. And I feel like my home is my protection because my feather is there. Now, I believe that I should take that feather with me everywhere I go, but I don't. I don't know why. Maybe I'm going to make a necklace of it, or maybe I'm not. But I'm going to make it a habit, and I'm going to make it a rule that I take that feather with me, because that feather, I think, is a piece of God. Because I was praying so much, so long for a sign. And the moment I was done, my energy was spent. The moment I was done, I got out and I was so sad. I still had, feeling. And I was walking with my head down to my door and I saw that glowing light on the ground. I was like, what the heck? Like it scared the hell out of me. And you know how they say, you must fear God? I was super scared. I mean, I wasn't scared like, watching a scary movie or anything like, the scary movies that get you really scared. I wasn't that kind of scared, but I was like a different kind of scared. Like I was surprised, you know what I'm saying? Like I was like wowed, it was like the craziest moment of my life. And I would never, ever forget that moment. And I want to share that moment with you because I believe someone out there might have their faith shaken and they might believe and might not. They might be in the middle. They might be in between. So my video is for that person because I don't want that person to give up like the way I was going to give up. If you think you're going to give up, get on your hands and knees. Punch the ground, look up, and pray to God. Because God is going to answer you so long as you give your energy to him, whether if it's good or bad. Be yourself. Be proud of how he made you and pray to God and ask him to be here because that's what I did. And he came to me. He didn't come to me physically. I didn't see how he looked or anything, but he gave me something. And I wanted to share that to you because I'm so proud of what he gave me. After all, it's God. It's our higher power. I mean, I don't know. None of us may not know. Maybe we do know. Maybe there's a few who really do know. All I know is of what he gave me. And I wanted to share that with you. Because God is real, So long as you believe, God is there. He will give you signs. He will give you the answers. Now they say, I don't want you to take advantage of this, but they say, so long as there's two or more of you, you'll feel the presence of God. I was by myself. Yeah, I'm with my mom and dad, but they're inside. I'm a couple of feet away from them, and they were sleeping at this time. I gave all of my energy, and God was there. So make sure to pray. Pray in love every single night, because God watches everything. Okay? And there goes a little cat. A little cat just came up. But thank you guys for watching. This was my video to you about Jesus and my experience with Jesus, my experience with God, the signs that I saw. And subscribe, because I got so much more to tell you. Take care, guys. Peace.